So how to be the person that you really want to be. And the first thing that you need to do is decide what it is that you really want to be. You can't just really be flirting around with different ideas. You need to be, focused on what it is. Whether that be a certain type of personality or a career choice, no matter what it is, you need to be focused, as some would say, like a laser, on what it is that you really want, so that you can have all of the energy that you're putting into it needs to be funneled into this one idea. None of this broad stuff. Okay, and the good news is that the person that you really want to be actually already exists. Many of the world's greatest scientists, including Einstein, believe that time is not linear. There is no past, there is no future. It's all happening in the present. So the person that you really want to be is actually happening right now. The problem is that you're not conscious of being that person, and that's what we have to do is get you to be conscious of that. The bad news is, and it's really not that bad, is that you have to take some action. You have to do a little work for this. And by work, I don't mean, maybe you want some type of material possession, and you think, well, I have to pick up extra shifts, or do some kind of physical work to pick up more clients to be able to get that. And what I'm saying is it's not really that kind of work that we're talking about here. The kind of work that I'm talking about is using your mind, visualization, changing your thoughts, changing your interpretations of things. Okay, we're not talking about really, the typical type physical work. So that's the good news about the bad news, I guess you could say. So let's just go ahead and dive right in. What you need to do is, now that you know the person that you want to be, you have to start thinking like that person. Okay, no more of the old person. Not the person that, would react negatively towards, maybe when someone makes you angry, you would act negatively towards that. You need to act the way that you would want. That you need to act the way that the person that you want to be would act. Okay? So, change it. Okay? No more acting that way. This is how you really become the person that you want to be. And it's just like, well, that sounds, kind of obvious, but a lot of people just hold this idea of what they want to be, and they expect it to just come along sometime in the future. But as I told you, the future is not really there. It's all happening right now. Okay? So you have to start changing it now, in the present moment. Change the way that you would think about a situation, and the situation will change. Okay? Your parallel self that you want to be would do it that way. Okay? They wouldn't see a situation that you would deem as to be negative. Well, let's just flip that around, and the person that you want it to be would see it as positive. Okay? One of the biggest things is imaginary inner conversations. We all do this. We have these just usually pointless conversations with people in our minds that have never happened. And a lot of times these conversations are very destructive until you realize that you really do control a lot of what happens in your life with these inner conversations. You need to change these to be exactly how you would want them to be. So instead of arguing with someone in your mind, what would the person that you want to be doing with that conversation? You wouldn't be arguing with them, you'd be getting along with them. Okay? The inner conversations are extremely important, because a lot of times when you do these, you're kind of in a relaxed type state, you're kind of in a zone, and because of that, your mind is a lot more fertile to accepting these ideas. So we really want to do this. If you see yourself, let's just say that, are you seeing people saying that you are, maybe a loser or unsuccessful? Or do you see these same people saying how successful you are? Okay, if you want to be a successful person, then these conversations, these imaginary conversations that you're having throughout the day, you need to see these people saying how successful you are, not how much of a loser maybe you maybe see these people saying that you are, or whatever. Okay, this is so important. You have got to master this. You have to master being able to see people in your imagination the way that they would see you if you were the person that you wanted to be. Okay? Let's start controlling our attitudes. Okay? Are you wanting to be a more relaxed person? Then start right now to be more relaxed. If you find yourself, rushing to do things, the person that you want to be wouldn't be rushed, would they? They would be slowed down and relaxed. So simply force yourself to slow down and relax. If you're always rushing around, take some deep breaths. Slow down. We all have these ideas of what we would want to be. But let's stop seeing that as happening in the future. You have to start seeing it as already a reality. You have to feel it as already a reality. These feelings are so important. That's why I talk about them in nearly every video. Anytime that you may read something by me or see one of my videos, you will probably hear me say something about feelings, and that's because they're so important. They're so transformational to your reality. When you can master your feelings, you can master your reality. Okay? No matter what comes towards you, it's those feelings, the way that you feel about it, the way that you allow yourself to feel about it. So let's really start now to changing the way that we perceive things, the way that we feel about these things, the way that we react towards things. Reaction, the way that you react towards things, you cannot react towards them in the way that the former self would have. Because now you are the person that you want to be. Ignore all of these things that you see on the outside. Okay? Once you have mastered the way that you would like to be on the outside, once you have mastered that on the inside, then the outside will show you that proof. If you're not seeing it on the outside, then that is proof that you have not completely aligned with that reality. You have to be in complete resonance with that. Okay? You need to be completely aligned with it in order for it to be your reality. And I love talking about these really just, it might sound far out there to a lot of people, but don't be surprised one day when you just wake up and your life is completely different. You may not think that this is possible, but the world is a very mysterious place. And a lot of times these things happen very gradually. But if you believe that changes in reality can be sped up to what you formerly thought was just impossible, then it will speed up. And it will still probably come in a very normal feeling. That's the way things usually happen, is it usually feels very, very normal. But it can happen very quickly. The faster that you align with it, the faster that it will become your reality. Okay? Am I saying that, you want some giant screen TV and then you wake up the next morning and that giant screen TV is actually there? That's probably not the way that it's going to happen. What's probably going to happen is that maybe you end up getting a big new client. that spends enough money with you that you're able to go out and get that now. And that's usually how these things happen, okay? It usually doesn't happen with this, abracadabra, there's the big screen TV that I want, or there's whatever I want, okay? It usually happens in a more gradual fashion. And let's talk about personality types, okay? Like I already spoke about being a more relaxed person. Let's talk about, if you want to be a happier person. If you want to be a happier person, there's lots of things that you can do, but you have to realize that it all starts within here, okay? Don't make the mistake of doing all of these outside things to try to change the inside. The world is a reflection of what's going on in here. You can't go around changing all of this stuff on the outside and it change the inside. That's not how it works. You have to change the inside. By changing the inside, you will change the outside. As within, so without. Not as without, so within. You want to be happier, there's lots of things you can do. You can, start thinking in the way that your happier self would think. And when, like I said, don't focus on changing these outside things. Don't think, maybe you listen to music that's not really the happiest type of music. I'm always surprised at how you could hear an upbeat song or something and the lyrics are just really depressing. It's just, I don't get it. But don't focus on changing things like changing the music that you listen to. You think that, oh, well, if I change that, or I change the type of TV shows that I watch, that this is going to make me a happier person. You hear a lot of people say that, it will. And I say, well, stop watching, the news and all this stuff. And I tell people a lot of times, don't watch the news. But what we're focusing on right now is the fact that that's not necessarily really what is going to change that inside. Okay? That is what I was telling you not to do. Don't focus on changing the outside. If you're doing things like, I'm going to change the stuff that I watch on TV, and I'm going to change the type of music I listen to, and even the people I hang around, I'm going to change all those so that I can feel happier. You are essentially trying to change the outside before you change the inside. Change the inside, and the people that you hang around with aren't as happy as you would like them to be. They'll just dwindle away. And because you've changed inside, the new happier people that you want to attract will be attracted to you because you are emitting this vibration of happiness. Okay, when you are wanting to change, when you say, oh, I'm going to change all the people that I hang out with, you are trying to change your vibration from the outside. And that's just not possible. You have to change it from the inside first. If let's talk about, wealth is such an important issue for a lot of people. There's a lot of people out there that, act like that's not important to them. And I really hardly ever trust anyone that says that money is not important to them. I have met so many people that, come off as these types that are just like, they're just not like, they don't think about money. Not in the sense that they're so wealthy they don't have to think about it. They're just like, well, I'm above thinking about money. That's just bad. And yet they all usually are, want more money for something. Okay, so it's rare that I trust anyone that says that money's not important to them. But if you have this idea of yourself, you want to be, the guy who drives the flashy car and wears the flashy clothes, whatever that may be to you, or the girl that has, all of these nice clothes. If that's what you want, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Why should you not live in luxury? Why not? Why would you want to not live in luxury? That makes no sense. But what you do not want to do, and the mistake that gets so many people in trouble, is that they want to live this luxurious life and they end up spending themselves into a horrible vibration. They spin themselves into trouble. If you want to live the luxury life, do not go empty your bank account out on a bunch of nice clothes and get some car, new whatever, and spend and spend and spend, which some people tell you to do. Okay? I do not ever recommend doing that. Okay? If you want to go out and say get yourself a nice suit or a nice dress or whatever that makes you feel good, maybe go out and get one. Wear it from time to time. And that's okay. But I strongly suggest that you do not go out and try to just redo your whole wardrobe, go out and get the car that you would want if you were the person that you wanted to be. Don't do it yet, because you, in the end, more than likely, you could end up short on money, and that's going to make you feel even further away from that person. That's why you cannot change the outside first. You have to change the inside. When you change the inside, the car, the clothes, the friends, everything you want will be attracted to you. And a lot of times, the more aligned with it that you are, the more effortless it will be to attract those things. Usually it is. Usually attracting is effortless because you really won't attract it until you are aligned with it. Some people have to work harder to get the things that they want, but that's because they have a belief that you have to work hard to get what you want. That doesn't mean that they're not. It just means that they're going to have to work harder for it. Okay? But to be the person that you truly want to be, you have to know exactly who you want to be. Then, start by changing the inside. Start by changing the reactions. React how that person would react. Think how that person would think. When you're imagining people talking about you, imagine them talking about you in the way that they would be talking about the person you want to be. No more of this, they see you as, someone who, is low on the totem pole, so to speak, as far as, your employment or whatever it is. No more of people saying that, you're a depressing person. Any of this. No more of people saying that you are, they have another ailment now, something else is wrong with their health. No, you see this person saying, I've never seen them healthier. And, as I've said a lot of times, some of the best times to do this, if you're imagining these things, if you're visualizing this, as soon as you wake up in the morning, right before you go to sleep, any time that you have a heightened sense of energy. But it is so important that you actually start living as that person. You will never become the person that you want to be by acting, thinking the same way that the person that you don't want to be does. Doesn't that make total sense? How could you ever be the person that you want to be if you're still the person that you don't want to be? And the way that you become the person that you want to be is you have to change your consciousness. That's what it's all about. You have to become conscious of being the desired result. And then the results will come.